Boom, we did it, guys. So if you remember, around a week ago I uploaded a video saying we passed the 200k FTMO challenge. In the meantime, we've done the 250k E8 challenge again because of what happened with that one, so go check those videos out. So it brings it nicely onto this video. So those were obviously phase 1. So now phase 2, as you saw, we needed to make 5% on the FTMO. I haven't traded on E8 phase 2 yet, and if this video does well, I'll do a video on the E8 phase 2 as well. But we needed 5%, which is $10,000, and we made that today within the first day of trading on the account. The day I actually passed the first one was quite a while ago now. If we actually go into the metrics to show you, this was the first stage. If you haven't seen the previous video, we'll just go over it quickly. So 200k, we started it on the 3rd November and we finished it on the 3rd November with 100% win rate. So the 3 trades we took on that day were 100% win rate. Obviously now it says the win rate is lower because we had to do all the 0.01 days to actually get the 10 trading days to pass the challenge, which is one of the requirements, as you see here. But as you see, we had like 2% drawdown. That was fine because I was comfortable risking, I think I was risking 2.5%, which is like just over 5k on this trade, which is fine. No risk, no reward at the end of the day. And on these challenges, I do risk a little bit more because I might as well. So that was the challenge phase, so the phase 1, and that actually finished on the 12th of November. So that is 10 days, like 10 trading days, I guess, since I took the first trade. And then we moved on to phase 2. So when this is actually done, you then obviously, they check the account to obviously see that you've done it all legit. You're not copying trades from another account and stuff like that. I don't know what they check, but they have to check your trades or check your account first before they then move you on to the next stage. And then I got an email saying successful, here's a login for the next stage. And then we actually took the phase 2, which I'll show you the trade now. On my main account, my personal account, I trade the 15-minute, but because I just want to get these accounts passed relatively quickly, I just went to the 1 minute and just did a quick 1 to 5. Very, very simple. Like what I did on an E8 account. The setups I usually take on the 15-minute are usually like 1 to 2s, 1 to 3s, but because I want to pass quicker, I just scale down to then get a higher risk to reward to pass quicker. I don't recommend doing this if you're just trading, normally, but because I just want to get as much money as possible, under management with these funded accounts, that's the way I'm sort of doing it. So I took this trade here, but the entry I actually got was up here. So in fact, I was actually risking 0.5% on this trade. So if I explain that, so normally the stop loss was 10 pips. So 10 pips on GU on a 200k account is obviously 20 lots, so $200 per pip. And then I actually got the entry at 619 there. We're only actually risking $1,000, which is 0.5%, and we took profit down here somewhere where it was a 1 to 10. But because we risked 1% of the 10 pips, not 1% of the 5 pips, we actually made a 1 to 10 instead of a 1 to 5 technically, because we only risked 0.5%. Technically, we could have just risked a full percentage on this 5 pip stop loss instead, but that wasn't really what I was looking for. And you'll probably see here, if we just put that back, the price, obviously we had these pullbacks, and I'm going to show you why the trade was still valid for me. So we obviously have this area here, which is, I know it's only the 1 minute, but my strategy is like fractal, so it can be used in any time frame. So that's why I'm comfortable just trading it on the 1 minute, on the 5 minute, or even like the 30-second. It probably works, but it's not really anything I'm into. I'd rather just trade on the 15-minute, higher time frames for myself personally. So we had this area here, and I drew this across. And once this broke, I was like, okay, I'm confident in this trade now. Obviously, we were like lingering around the entry, but that's fine because, let's say price worked in here, I didn't get the original entry, you would have got multiple entries anyway. A lot of my trades, you actually do get multiple entry opportunities if you miss it in the first place. And also this is the 1 minute, so that's probably why that happened. On the 5 minute 15, it probably would have just been one candle in the area. But when we actually got this close below here, a lot of people see price wick below their level, and then they're like, okay, it's still valid, still valid, still valid. They'll enter the trade or they'll close out the trade or whatever. I have to see bodies. I have to see a body close below this, the previous bit of structure. If we want it to continue with this downwards trend, which obviously we can see, I wanted it to close below. And then what we got was a close below. And then when it pulled back into here, I was like, I'm not even worried now, because a lot of times you guys will probably see it. Like, let me find an example. Even this here, technically we closed below this area here with this candle here. So what this means is if we get a pullback, you're not as worried because we closed below the previous low in that area. However, this one is a bit different because I could have just said, okay, a close below here would be nice, but this was the key area which I was looking for, the previous structure. So once we actually got close below here, obviously we had a big push down, and obviously this was like a 1%, obviously a wick there. And then when price came back in, I was like, okay, this is perfect. All we need now is to consolidate in this area and then break down. And that's what we did. And I set my TP to 10K. I'll put a video up here of the trade actually hitting the TP, because I did a little screen recording of that actually happening. If I actually show you on here as well, you guys can see 210K GBP USD and the FTMO challenge. A lot of people in the comments are saying, yeah, but it's a demo account. Obviously, it's a challenge. So like, if you don't know about funding, don't comment please, because if people in the comments are saying, oh, it's a demo account, he's a scam. I never said it was a real account. It's just, this industry is an absolute joke sometimes. So yeah, that's why I said demo account. It's a challenge phase. But yeah. But the good thing about it is a lot of my trades are actually on the copier. So if you see me trading on one account, high chance it's entering on my other accounts also. I have like 11 accounts on my copier. That's including challenge phases, funded phases, personal accounts, all on that social trader tools platform to actually have my trades. So if we go back onto the dashboard now, you see this was the phase 1 and this is the phase 2. They've added these two lines now, which is quite cool. You guys can see we haven't passed it yet because we're waiting for the 10 trading days, which obviously means we can't actually start trading the funded account for another 10 days at least, which is alright, but that's, drawdown, we're obviously very, very close to the stop loss, but that doesn't really matter. It's quite close here, but that doesn't really worry me. Obviously, you can look at getting tighter entries if a lot of your trades are actually going into, heavy drawdown, but that's something we can look into when we do our, end of week journaling or end of month journaling. So less than 1% in drawdown, as you know, and then profit target hit for $10,260. Average loss 0, average profit win, 100% win rate. We had a 100% win rate on the challenge. We had a 100% win rate on the verification. On the E8, we had a 100% win rate on the challenge as well. So, I maybe I actually do know what I'm doing. But yeah, as you see, we passed the E8 in 21 minutes or 23 minutes, and we passed this one in 24 minutes. But obviously with this trade, we are actually making half the profit, so it is a lot easier, so kind of a bit less impressive. We should have done it in around 12 minutes, but it is what it is. As you see here, everything's obviously nice and green because we've only made one trade and it was in profit. So what I'm going to do now is with this account, do the 10 trading days, get the details for the funded account, and then link it to, my trade copier. And I've done a video on my trade copier. I think I might have done a couple of videos on it actually. But the way I actually trade these funded accounts, what I do is I start to lower my risk because, you've gone through the hard bits, you've gone through the hard phases of risking 1%, 2%, let's say 2.5% on the challenge verification. You've made 10%, you made 5%, and now you've got $200,000 to play with. If I make 2%, 3% a month now, I'll be happy. 2%, a 1 to 2, or even a 1 to 3, I'm happy. That's an extra 4, 5, 6 grand per account you have. If you have 3 companies maxed out, let's say, or even 200K with 3 companies, you've then got 600K to $1 million, let's say, in funding. 2% is either obviously 12 grand or 20 grand. So you see, you don't have to make a very, very large percentage with these sort of accounts, with these larger account types. So it might seem like I'm trading recklessly or recklessly for some people that don't know my strategy, don't know my trading results, my 82% win rate over this year, will see it as reckless, a lot of my trading. But when I actually get onto the funded stages, completely changes. I then start to trade it like I trade my personal account, where I have low risk, low trade amount. So I only probably take 2 or 3 trades in a month, and that's it. I make my 5% to 10% on my personal account, and then I'm done. Funded accounts are a little bit different. If I make profit, then I'll be done. So it's not a certain amount I'm looking for. It's just if I make any profit, then I'll just stop trading and wait for the payout to then get the next funded account details to then keep trading. So that is the goal for this account. Just link it to my other funded accounts or link it to my personal account and just trade it as I would normally, any of my other accounts. Maybe lower the risk a little bit to get the first payout, because obviously the first payout is the most important. You get the refund as well. And if you don't get the refund, you don't get the first payout, then technically you are negative on this challenge phase. When I lost that E8 account before, I had already had £22,000 worth of withdrawals within 2 weeks and a refund of £980. So it's like, yeah, I didn't have the account anymore, but I've made £22,000 in 2 weeks. So it kind of makes up for it. And it kind of makes it, well, that was a profitable 2 weeks. I made £22,000. Yeah, I lost the account, I had to buy another one, but technically the refund pays for the new challenge, and I passed that within 20 minutes anyway, so it's kind of fine. So if you are getting onto these funded accounts, you've passed verification, you've passed both phases, and then you're going to try and keep trading at the exact same, trying to force 10%, 20% profit to get on the leaderboards. Just remind yourself, 2.1% a month on a 400k account is 6 figures a year. Would you be happy with 2.1% a month? A lot of people would be like, no, it's only 2%. Then you change the question. Would you be happy with 6 figures a year from funded accounts where the losses don't cost you anything? You don't have to have the money to actually be able to get 6 figures from trading if you're trading funded accounts. Simple as that. But people don't listen. People blow their accounts, and that's why it is very, very tricky to actually get funded payouts for a lot of people. They all just want to get rich quick. But if you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in 2 days for the next video.